Their robots are here, and area high school students are learning how to program them for the future.
A local community celebrates its heritage, and a traffic stop leads to a big drug bust.
Dry weather in store for East Alabama for the next several days. We'll have the complete forecast details coming up. And in sports, a local high school names a head baseball coach. We'll have that coming up in our sports report. EAN Local News begins now.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Waldrop Manufacturing, metal buildings made right here in Calhoun County.
Hello, we're glad you could join us. I'm Katie Edwards.
And I'm Mike Stedham.
Oxford High School students are spending the week getting hands-on programming experience at a robotics boot camp. The sessions being held in Oxford's modern manufacturing building are a partnership among the school, the Alabama Robotics Technology Park, and the Alabama Industrial Development and Training Program. AIDT Director Ed Castile said this morning that his agency has been teaching basic robotics at high schools for years, but it now wants to offer more.
We were looking for a system, though, to do a deeper dive into that, and Oxford City Schools approached us about a partnership, and we agreed together to collaborate. And so this is one of our first activities to where this boot camp, some of our trainers are here from the Robotics Technology Park, and some of the equipment here, and this camp is to help teach those kids some details, some specifics about the robotics particular piece of programming and using pendants and just the robotic maintenance and such.
Castile says his goal is to enlarge this boot camp so it can accommodate more students and offer a wider variety of advanced training sessions. He says many high school students in Alabama are not going beyond the basics, and they will need more specialized skills when they enter the workforce.
But if we can get with them this early and even as freshmen, or maybe even in the junior high area of school with this technology, they're growing up with this technology where I didn't. So they're excited about it. This is the kind of thing they enjoy, and really it's working with robotics and machinery and equipment in, say, a Honda plant or one of the suppliers to Honda or any of the other manufacturers in the area. When there's automation and robotics in that piece of business, then that's just like kids playing video games. It's essentially the same kind of technology with the same kind of programming that's important. And so we like to get them early and then hopefully hook them for life.
Boot camp students are programming robots to complete modern manufacturing tasks, engaging in team-based projects, and interacting with industry professionals. Dr. Shannon Stanley, Oxford School Superintendent, says she's receiving positive feedback from the students in this week's workshop as they gain more experience with the high-tech equipment at the high school.
They have a lot of FANUC robots. They work with coding. They work with PLCs to be able to help determine what the robots will do. They see the connection between what they're doing here and what they do at Toyota, Mazda, at Honda, a lot of the industries across the state with automation in manufacturing. So they're connecting the dots. As a parent myself, I'm in awe that our students have the opportunity to do these things prior to getting out of high school, getting into college and the workforce. So it really gives them an advantage to be able to have these type of learning experiences.
Ben Brady, who'll be going into the 11th grade this fall, says he's always been interested in robotics, and he enjoys taking machines apart and reassembling them to find out how they work. He says the boot camp is making a big difference to him as he decides which field of study will be the most helpful to him when he chooses a career.
And the engineering academy here is great for that. It's like there's several different technical engineering parts to the pathway. There's the coding part, there's CADing classes, there's robotics, there's the green power classes, and I'm also in the modern manufacturing class, so I've gotten part of the industrials side to things, and I'm wanting to go into engineering throughout college, and having these pathways helps me discover what I want to go into whenever I do get to college.
When we come back, a local town's history was celebrated this weekend.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today. This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Oxford Lumber. Come visit any of our locations in Oxford, Jacksonville, Talladega, and Roanoke.
The town of Munford celebrated its colorful history this past weekend with its annual Heritage Day Festival. One of the community's chief claims to fame is the grave of A.J. Buttram, a Munford native who's believed to have been the last Confederate soldier killed in action during the American Civil War. His death in Mississippi on April 23, 1865, came 2 weeks after the South surrendered to Union forces in Virginia. This year's Munford Heritage Day coincided with the Buttram family reunion to commemorate their famous ancestor. Also featured during the Heritage Day was a fundraising event for Munford High School's chapter of the Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. That's made up of students in family and consumer services. The club sponsor, Debbie Turner, explains how these funds are going to be used.
I work at Munford High School. I'm the family consumer science teacher, and my FCCLA members, several of them won at state and earned the opportunity to go to nationals in Seattle, Washington. So they're trying to earn money to cover their trip, which is at the end of this month. And they've all got jobs, so they had to work today. So I come out to sell for them. So FCCLA is life skills, but it is the only organization that focuses on the family. So it teaches them to be good family members, good community leaders. They spend a lot of time volunteering.
Another feature of Munford Heritage Day was a yarn making demonstration. April Swafford with A&R Farm talked about the various sources of materials that are still used by craftspeople who make yarn.
So when we start talking about yarn making, there's all sorts of fibers. We have wool fibers, we have plant fibers, we have silk, which comes from silkworms. So there's all sorts of sources.
Antique cars were on display throughout the day, as well as demonstrations of various arts and crafts. One popular activity on display was the ancient art of moonshining, as explained by Johnny Griffiths of the Backroad Distilling Company.
Me and Mike Burdett and another partner of ours that's not here, Jimbo Bray, we was all actually on the TV show Master Distillers, which you can see. And we teamed up, and all three of us is opening a distillery in Blount County. Us three collaborated on one label, called it Alabama Homegrown Moonshiners, and it just kind of grew from there. And we fixed to open a legal distillery in Blount County called Backroad Distilling Company.
When we return, a traffic stop uncovers a drug trafficking scheme.
For over 60 years, Oxford Lumber has been servicing our area, and our customer service has always been our main focus. Our customer service is what sets us apart from anyone else. From the moment you enter, our highly trained staff will treat you like family.
To enthusiastically provide total customer satisfaction within a positive and self-fulfilling employee relations environment. Visit us at any of our 4 locations or at oxfordlumber.com.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by WM Grocery, located in Heflin, Wadowee, Roanoke, and in Piedmont.
A Randolph County man was arrested early Friday morning by Cleburne County Sheriff's deputies and now faces numerous drug charges, including trafficking meth. The suspect, 56-year-old Jeffrey Lee Smith, was arrested around 1 a.m. Friday during a traffic stop on Cleburne County Road 10. During the course of the traffic stop, deputies searched Smith's car and found suspected methamphetamines as well as drug paraphernalia. He was charged with trafficking methamphetamines, which is a felony, and with unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a misdemeanor. He was placed in the Cleburne County Jail with a total bond of $23,000. Smith also has a hold with the Randolph County Sheriff's Office for a felony failure to appear warrant.
Blue skies, sunshine, nice temperatures. What more could we ask for?
I could ask for nothing more, except maybe another day just like it tomorrow.
Why don't we ask Jon Holder if just perhaps we might be having one of those?
Mike and Katie, a day coming up tomorrow just like today. Plenty of sunshine and dry conditions. We'll talk about heat returning to East Alabama in weather coming up next.
Spring into freshness at WM. Celebrate the season with our bountiful selection of farm fresh produce. From juicy berries to crisp greens, taste the flavors of spring at WM. Visit us today and let the freshness bloom in every bite.
Well, after some showers and thunderstorms last night, some clouds and some light rainfall this morning across East Alabama, it turned out to be a beautiful day. Plenty of sunshine, 85 for the high after a morning low this morning of 71. Our record high temperature, 99 degrees. The record low, 53. That record low of 53 was back in 1980. And just a month later, we had one of those severe heat waves we've ever had in the state of Alabama's history in July of 1980. So the weather can change quickly, as we know, here in East Alabama. Sun rising tomorrow morning at 5:33 and the sun setting tonight at 7 minutes until 8 o'clock. Weather on your street for a Monday night. Lassiter Road out in Southside. Another hint of fall. We had this last week for a couple of mornings. We've got a couple of more mornings where we're going to be down into the 50s. 57 for the low tonight under clear skies. Very nice and pleasant. Low humidity and dew point values once again. A spectacular day coming up tomorrow. As a matter of fact, this will be the best day weather-wise overall that we've got coming for the foreseeable future. Sunny and warm, 85 tomorrow. No rain in the forecast. And again, low humidity and dew point values. All you folks out in northern Calhoun County on Old Sulphur Springs Road in the Wellington community, enjoy the day tomorrow. Doesn't get much better than this coming up in the month of June in Alabama. And for the rest of the work week ahead, get ready. We mentioned heat. We are going to be heating up on Christine Avenue in Midtown Anniston and all across East Alabama. Mostly 90s, especially Thursday, Friday into the weekend. This will easily be the hottest weather we've seen so far this year coming up later on in the week. And you'll see that right here in our 7-day forecast. These temperatures may not be warm enough. We're at 85 tomorrow, 87 on Wednesday. Then we reach into the 90s on Thursday, 90s again on Friday. No chance of rain. We stay hot and dry on Saturday across East Alabama, 94 for the high. A very small chance of a shower on Sunday for Father's Day, less than a 20% chance of a shower. The high soaring to 97 degrees, a hot Father's Day coming up, and then a little bit of a respite from that. We'll be back down to where we should be, mid-80s across East Alabama for the early part of next week. But the heat is certainly going to be on. But before we get to the heat, we've got a couple of very nice mornings coming up. As you can see, widespread 50s in the north half of Alabama, north of I-20, north of I-22. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 50s tomorrow morning. I think most folks will be in the upper 50s again on Wednesday morning. Enjoy that while it lasts, because then we're zooming way into the 90s by the end of the work week and the weekend. I'll be back here tomorrow morning for your Tuesday Day at a Glance forecast, bright and early at 6 a.m. And I'll be back here tomorrow night for EAN Local News as we'll continue to detail the forecast for the work week ahead for all of East Alabama. And I'll be back with sports in just a moment. Lots of breaking news in sports across East Alabama. One coach coming in, one coach leaving. The details are next.
We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ, a place to use the gifts and talents God has given you, a place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Anniston. Visit our website for details.
Jon Holder in for Namath Pitts with EAN Sports on this Monday night. Big news coming out of the new Hope Christian Academy in Oxford, the new private school in Calhoun County, announcing their new head baseball coach, and it is a big name here in East Alabama. Robbie Brooks, he is the general manager of the Choccolocco Monsters baseball team, also the owner of Top Gun. He is going to be the new head baseball coach at Hope Christian Academy. Of course, he's the brother of Wes Brooks, the former state championship coach at Oxford High School, and he is also a former JSU and Walter Welborn standout. Congratulations to Robbie Brooks and Hope Christian Academy as he will be leading their baseball team for the 2025 baseball season coming up. Now, another big piece of coaching news coming up, and that is a coach stepping away. We're talking about Rachel Smith, the longtime head softball coach at Piedmont High School, just named to the Cherokee County Sports Hall of Fame last week, as you saw here on EAN. She has resigned as the head softball coach at Piedmont High School. She had been the head softball coach for 11 years, dating all the way back to 2014. Assistant coach Matt Strott will be the new softball coach at Piedmont High School, replacing the resigning Rachel Smith. Well, speaking of Hall of Famers, the Etowah County Sports Hall of Fame held their induction ceremony on Saturday night at the venue at Coosa Landing in Gadsden. Here are the inductees for 2024: Steve Copeland, Craig Dudley, Earl Dudley, James Spud Dudley, Alberta Lowe, Ann Renfro, and Patrick Nix. Let's tell you about this outstanding class of 2024 of the Etowah County Sports Hall of Fame, beginning with Gadsden High All-Stater Steve Copeland, great football player who went on to play for Coach Bobby Dodd at Georgia Tech and is in fact now a board member of the Bobby Dodd Coach of the Year Foundation. Also representing Gadsden High, basketball player Craig Dudley. He was on their state championship team in 1983, a first-team All-State player and a team captain, playing for Wimp Sanderson at the University of Alabama back in the 80s. There were 3 Dudleys, all brothers, all from Gadsden High, going into this year's class. Another brother, Earl Dudley, an All-State player at Gadsden High, went on to Tyler Junior College in Tyler, Texas, and played Division I basketball at Southeastern Louisiana University in Hammond, Louisiana. And the third Dudley, James Spud Dudley, he played at Wallace Community College in Selma, then came to Jacksonville State and was a member of the National Championship basketball team in 1985 at JSU. In addition to 3 brothers, we also had 2 sisters inducted into the Hall of Fame, including Alberta Lowe, 5 grand championships at the Tennessee Walking Horse Nationals, also an amateur stallion and world championship horse rider, and winning shows all across Alabama and Tennessee back in the 1960s and 1970s. Her sister, Ann Renfro, 4 amateur ladies championships, 8 consecutive world grand championships, and the only horse rider to go undefeated at the Tennessee Walking Horse Celebration. And the final inductee was Etowah High School's Patrick Nix, a super all-state quarterback at Etowah High School in 1990, a 2-year starting quarterback for the Auburn Tigers, and now a successful high school football coach here in the state of Alabama with 3 state championships at 2 different high schools. An outstanding class of the Etowah County Sports Hall of Fame inducted this past Saturday night at the venue at Coosa Landing in Gadsden. That's going to wrap up sports on this Monday. Right now, back to Mike and Katie.
Thanks for that update, John, and we thank you for watching today.
You can find us here every weeknight on Facebook and YouTube and on a variety of sites, including our website, the Calhoun Journal, and Newsbreak. Just go to the platform of your choice and watch our news, sports, and weather coverage whenever it's convenient for you.
We'll see you back here Tuesday for your news on your schedule.